I just love about you, English. Your sense of fair play. No matter what a man does, you always give him another chance, don't you?
Yes. That is, if he deserves it.
You see that man over there, the one with the white hair?
Yes.
A few years ago, he stole an awful lot of money from a bank.
Huh?
Literally ruined hundreds of people. Then he got to thinking about it and came back and said he wanted to make whatever restitution he could.
And did he?
Uh-huh. He was so sincere, a lot of people, even those who should have hated him most, decided to give him another chance. And now he's one of the finest and most respected men in the state.
Splendid.
I told Colonel McDonald I knew you'd feel that way about it.
Oh, naturally. Anyone can make a mistake.
Then you will do it, won't you?
Do what?
Give Peter Stackhouse another chance.
Stackhouse?
Colonel McDonald's wanted to do it all along, but since Peter's in the RAF, he felt it was up to you.
McDonald hasn't even mentioned it.
Well, it's rather a personal favor, you know. He's such an old friend of Steve Britt's, and he knows how badly Steve feels about it. But now that you're willing, I can't wait to tell him. Mildred, may I cut in?
Of course, Kay.
I just love Mr. Barrett.
Seems to me you love a lot of people around here.
He has such a wonderful sense of fair play. Only, of course, he feels it's your job, and he hates to bring it up.
Bring what up?
You see that man over there, the one with the white hair?
Yes.
I was telling him about a horrible mistake that man made a few years ago.
Really? What did he do?
Left his wife and 3 babies for another woman. But then he got to thinking about it and came back and pleaded so hard for a second chance that his wife took him back. And now he's one of the finest and most respected men in the state.
Well, isn't that wonderful?
I told Mr. Barrett I knew you'd feel that way about it.
Just a moment. What are you trying to say?
That Mr. Barrett would love to give Peter Stackhouse another chance, but of course you're head of the school and he doesn't like to interfere.
But you don't mind interfering.
Well, I'm an American, and I'd hate to think that we aren't as fair-minded as the British.
Yes. Well, I suppose if Barrett feels as strongly about it as you say.
Then you will?
If you promise to be out the field tomorrow morning to see that I don't forget.
Oh, thanks. I hope you didn't mind my cutting in like that.
The pleasure was all mine. Tom, I want you to meet a great admirer of yours. Miss Saunders, Mr. McDonald. My brother.
How do you do? How do you do? Look, isn't he marvelous?
What'd I tell you? Not even a flutter.
They didn't believe you when you said he could fly. I knew he could.
You really go for that guy, don't you?
I'm in love with him, Steve. I'm going to marry him.
Sure, I could have told you that weeks ago.
You knew, and yet you made a flyer out of him in spite of it?
I made a flyer out of my eye. He had it in him all the time. All I did was iron a few of the kinks out.
Okay, Steve. But thanks just the same. What are you going to do, Steve?
Oh, I'll find a spot somewhere.
But they don't really want you to go. They couldn't after you've proved you're right.
Mac's been doing a lot of talking. I don't know. Ferry command looks kind of hot to me. I always did like to travel.
Don't be a fool, Steve. You can't leave here now.
Why shouldn't I?
Look what you've done for Peter and the other boys. And this is only the beginning. Why, there'll be hundreds of others just like them. With kinks to be ironed out. You said yourself that this war will be won on fields like this, by boys like these. But they can't win it unless they know their jobs. And how are they going to learn unless men like you stay here and teach them? Besides, now that you won't have a little dame like me on your mind. What's gone wrong?
His motor's conked. Hey, who did that? It's a frame-up.
go, the Thunderbird pilots. No longer novices, no longer boys being trained, no longer fledglings. They're out of the cradle now, they're experts, they're veterans. Thunderbird Field has done its job, now the boys do theirs. Watch them fly, these young pilots who send their messages in the form of bombs. These young Englishmen are going to bomb Berlin just as they bombed Essen, Cologne, and Dusseldorf. These young Chinese will harry the Japanese invaders from the Yangtze to the Yellow River. They have a score to settle with Tokyo. They'll settle it. Watch them. And these young American Thunderbirds have some bombs and bullets up their sleeves, too. These are the young men who are fighting for the rights of free people everywhere. These are the pilots. These are the Thunderbirds. They know their job. They'll do it. But they might never have become pilots if the men on the ground hadn't served them so well. Let us pay homage to the instructors, too. To the Steve Britts everywhere, who teach men how to fly and fight and win.
Big boy, my name's Britt. What's your name?
Atkinson, sir.
Atkinson, huh? You are the Freckles. What's your name?
Percival Archibald Gouverneur Smasser.
Okay, Red.